Oh, hi. Well, by the time this video goes up, it'll actually be 9/11, and for the past few weeks, I felt a strong compulsion to do something special for that date. So originally, I planned to donate $100 to law enforcement, fire rescue, and emergency hospital services. Unfortunately, fire rescue just flat out said they don't take donations of any kind or form. The hospital never called me back, so I guess that gives everything to the police. Um, Although recently we were given the names, pictures, and ages of the 11 Marines, one Navyman, and one serviceman that were killed in the Kabul terrorist attack. And, it's interesting how nothing ever seems real until you get the pictures, the names, and the ages. And I think the oldest person there was 25. Not in a demeaning way, but 25 is like, you're still a kid, you know what I mean? Like when you're 32, you feel like you're not an adult until you're 27. So that's crazy to me that these people have their lives figured out, and unfortunately, it was lost due to bad decisions under the chain of command. So since fire rescue and the hospital didn't take donations, I thought, oh well, I'll just move it over there. So I went to the Marines recruiting office and I wanted to make a donation there, and they also said that as an organization they can't take donations. So I guess that's just the police lucky day. They get the full 300. Now, first of all, I want to make something clear. This is not a political decision. Okay, this is based purely on the people that were there on 9/11. Obviously, the police were there, fire rescue was there, and of course, emergency medical services were there. Okay, if the NRA was there, I would have given them money. If BLM was there, I would have given them money too. And on that note, I would also say that if you're going to make monetary donations, I would try to stay away from national, big level type of organizations. It seems that those kinds of organizations, they are very good at misappropriately using funds and then hiding it. Like the NRA, you can actually see in their budget, like the main guy goes on a vacation every year probably, and none of that goes to the Second Amendment. Or BLM, where they helped one life. I think the lady bought herself a house. So I would not really trust big level organizations. I think they're very good at hiding and misusing funds. Now, on the local level, I would say it's a little bit more transparent. I think they're very good at having a high standard of transparency, and it's very hard for them to use the funds incorrectly. In fact, when I talked to the captain of police, when I made the donation, he told me specifically that it was going to be used for roadside assistance if anybody gets stranded in the winter. You know what winter's like in Minnesota, South Dakota. Sometimes stranded children that end up in, drug houses. It will be support for them. So try to keep the donation local if you can. And a final note, I want to say that if you cannot donate money, there's actually something you can do better than that, and that's actually volunteering your time. I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a marathon we had in our town, and lots of civilians were there assisting the police with road blockades to ensure that the runners, of course, don't get injured by traffic. And so, if you can't donate money, you can actually do something better than that, and that's assisting your time to charity events for police, fire rescue, or emergency medical services. All right, well, with the important stuff concluded, let's move on to the boring stuff. Hello, YouTube. Well, today marks Iron Palm month 6. Half a year of training. It was pretty much every day too. It's not like the mushroom circles, which is going to be once a week. This is every day. 30 days times 6. 180 days. So a couple things for an update. First of all, I tasked my older brother with bringing the sand bell because I felt that hitting Rufus's pouch, the bean, I wasn't ready for that because I was already kind of holding back how hard I was hitting it. And my older brother did bring that. He brought that on August 17. I believe, and I was able to start training on that August 18th. And I believe I added 10 more sets. So it's 20 sets, and that was on August 22nd. It's great. The sandbell is great. I can hit as hard as I want, and there's no problem. Just one minor issue is the knife hand strike. So a knife hand strike, when I hit it, it seems like the fingers, they crash into each other. Now that might be a technique thing where I'm kind of hitting somewhere around here, which would cause the fingers to crash, when it's probably just this part that you strike with the knife hand. I wouldn't know. We don't do that in kickboxing. That would be an illegal strike. But everything else is fine. Palm strike, backhand. The fingers I'm a little bit kind of concerned about because once again, I can't do this when I hit somebody. And I was thinking, well, originally it was the mobility, right? That finger mobility that I wanted. Yes, you can build finger strength, and yes, I used to do push-ups on my fingers when I was a young boy, but I just thought a finger strike really isn't something that's applicable to me. Although I think that the mobility and the strength of the fingers that would be more useful in the sand bucket. Yes, I finally bought sand for my bucket. I bought that, I believe, August 13. August 13. It was interesting because on the Walmart website they have sand, so I'm like, great, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna get some sand. So I go to their gardening because I assumed that's where it would be. I couldn't find it. Like, okay, fine. I'd ask an employee. That's what you would do, right? So I asked this girl, and the moment I walked up, she like, I don't know who she is, but it's like I don't know. Maybe she knew me somewhere, but she was a little bit hostile, a little bit mean. Really wasn't that helpful. Kind of like, hey, I'm just looking for I'm just looking for sand. You got sand, And she was just kind of like short answers. Kind of mean about it, actually. It hurt my feelings a little bit. But anyways, I was like, oh, okay, she doesn't know. So then I went around and I found a guy and I asked him, I was like, hey, I see on your website you guys got sand, but I was over there and I wasn't able to find it. I asked the lady that wasn't interested in helping me, do you know? And he actually told me that Walmart used to have sand, but they actually don't stock it anymore. And the reason is because the competition is too tough. Menards and Lowe's are usually the ones that buy sand in so much bulk that there's no way Walmart can compete. And I was like, oh, okay, I see, I understand. I guess I'll just have to go to a Lowe's and a Menards. And in the end, I think I went to Menards is the one that I went to. And I bought the sand there. And it was just luck that it was enough for the 5-gallon bucket, but not too much that it would overflow because I don't want to be sitting here with a bag of sand not knowing what to do with it. As soon as I put the sand in, I started training right away. Probably wasn't a good idea. The play sand is what it was. It was a little wet still, so it wasn't. So I would train, but then like so much sand was on my hands, and I had to wash it off in the sink. Probably not a good idea. Don't do that. But the sand did dry up eventually to where now when I train, the sand just like falls off. Other than just like that, pretty much all the sand falls off. And originally I said I was going to do 10 sets, and that is what I did. I did 10 sets with the sand bucket, and it was on August 22nd, the same day as the sandbell. I doubled it as well. I did 20 sets. For the sand bucket training, one set is going to be your one hand goes in, knife hand, and then you grab and you twist, and then you let go, and you grab and you twist, and you let go, and you come out. And then you do the same with the other hand, and then when that one's done, that's one set. So I do that 20 times. As far as the idea, the plan that it was going to toughen up the outside of the skin, I would say, oh yeah, it's definitely toughened up the outside of the skin. It almost matches kind of the inside flesh, which I'm sure has hardened from the rufus. It's hardened from the palm strikes. The only thing I'd be a little bit concerned about is that it did seem to tear a little bit on my right and middle finger. I just noticed that now. It wasn't a big deal before, but I could feel like a little bit of skin coming off. Hopefully that kind of hardens and strengthens itself so I don't have to worry about that anymore. that's about it for the updates for the Iron Palm. In fact, I don't really see myself adding anything. So I think the next time we're going to see me is another 6 months. I think a year would probably be far more interesting to see. I don't really know what else I can add or change around. Um, the training is I'm pretty happy with it actually. Maybe I'll go to 30 sets. I don't know. uh, 20, it's long enough, but you never know. Hopefully these things strengthen up pretty well, pretty good. Maybe it'll be 30 sets or 40 sets, but hey, you'll know in another 6 months. I'll be sure to let you know in another 6 months. So if this video was interesting to you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.